What's up, everybody? It's Club Pro Guy coming to you live from the Learning Center. Oh man, if you haven't seen Club Pro Guy, and I don't know where he's been for like a year and a half. I think the last one of the last videos I saw of his was so fucking funny, man. Like it was about having your trap phone go off in your golf bag and you're not at home to go silence it or something. And just so funny. He was a genius, and I don't know why he stopped making videos, but I had to throw that in there for you. Welcome back to Kickback. I think this is episode 18. Peyton Manning, big bro. Love that guy. Pumped to be here. Pumped to be able to have the opportunity to do this. It's currently 55 degrees in the shop. I let it warm up for like 15 minutes, but let's go ahead. I've got this little fan here. It's doing a little bit of heating, doing a little bit of cooling. Not really effective, but it's something. My main concern is like, man, I hope my listeners can't hear that steady fan in the background. Maybe if I bring it up here closer to me, it'll be less in your ear. Yeah, what a crazy week it's been since last week. We got a lot of stuff going on. Country's still on fire. I mean, let's be real. Oh, looks like we're getting attacked in one of the games we play. I know that was like the stupidest nerd thing I could have said maybe, but some boys and I got into a game for a little bit, and it's kind of fading off, which is a little sad because it was fun while it lasted, but I think we're getting attacked and like cleared off the map, so that'll be all right. Yeah, big crazy week. There's a lot of sketchy things going on right now. Lots of things being voted on in our government. Those people who were supposed to be representing us, like those guys that we sent out and we're like, hey, we want you, because you're volunteering to do it, we want you to go to DC and represent our local interests. And that's just not what's happening. A lot of stuff is being hidden from us. A lot of stuff is being swept under the rug. We've got all the pardons happening. When you throw in, and I'm sorry to just keep, but when you throw in the pardons and the voting on the chemicals in our food and FDA regulations, and you throw on, all the plans that Trump has for the new presidency and the Doge, team going on and planning to delete people and stuff, which I'm all for it. Delete all you can. Just go in there and completely delete over 65% of the government. I think we'll be okay. But we've got a lot of things stirring the pot right now, and all of a sudden it's, ooh, car bomb, ooh, explosion, ooh, fires in California. And I saw this thing, and it was talking about the really bright light. I can't really say it. I'm afraid to say it. There's these things. Okay. There's basically lasers that are owned by people that are very close to home who are supposed to be protecting us. and the patent came out like in the 2000s, in the late 2000s, I think, early 2000s, and all these fires started happening, and strips of land would just get roasted, and then you see that common blue umbrella or blue trash can or blue car, um, and you know the funny thing about that is the lasers that said people may be using are blue light. So they won't incinerate or burn blue reflective objects. Like blue objects are going to bounce that light right off and not get burned. I've seen videos of people doing it with handheld lasers and commercial lasers that are meant to like incinerate things or strip metal of rust and everything. And there's just too many videos coming out where they're like, this is weird, let me try this. And then you go, wow, that, you're not missing, you're not talking out of your ass. Is that recording? Let me make sure this is recording. Don't know why it stopped recording, but, there's always the thing. It may have never started. So now you see me, possibly. That's just kind of my luck with technology. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to, and then it's going to be something different every week, which is kind of the running joke that Max and I have. There's nothing, well, that was the title of the episode. Nothing is easy. It's everything that could possibly go wrong, from storage issues to file sharing issues to audio issues to getting the footage from one card to one drive to another, and it says it's not a real video and it doesn't recognize it, and then I have to redo the whole process and delete a bunch of files and pretty much clear that its memory ever saw that video and then go back in and try it again. But, nothing is easy. So you guys just saw prime example there. But the fires, when we talk about these weapons, you never would have expected the weapons to be used on us. And furthermore, it makes a lot of sense that it would in these times, in these crucial times in our country where we're supposed to be coming together and planning to take advantage of this lucrative period of America where our economy is going to bounce. Everything that you're about to see happen is going to be pro-America, pro-money in your pocket, pro-get out there and work for it. It seemed like the more you worked in the Biden administration, just another thing would come out, where prices keep going up, fucking, cost of living keeps going up. Nothing makes sense. The amount that they're charging for rent doesn't make sense. Your electricity costs going up. All those things might not make sense until you realize the bullshit that's being spewed into these people's ears by a bunch of fake fucking people in DC. Like that curly-haired chick, Jean Paul or whatever the fuck. She was literally paid every day to go into the White House and talk to a bunch of fake fucking people with cameras and recorders in their hands and bullshit fucking questions written down, and talk to a fake motherfucker standing up there lying through her teeth every fucking day. I don't know how she can live with herself. How do you make a career for 4 years lying through your fucking teeth every day? Well, I mean, that's all politicians, but this lady made a career of it, and then Kamala Harris took it to the moon, really. But yeah, that John Sear Saint Pierre or whatever, that chick did nothing but fucking lie every time she opened her mouth. Oh, Biden's fine. Biden is strong. Biden's test. He's so sharp mentally. I look up to him so much. We have a great relationship. Blah, blah, blah. Shut your fucking mouth. You lying. God damn. I can't. I don't even want to get worked up on that. You know, I'm all about being transparent. I'm all about, if we're making you a millionaire, because we're not paying you and making you a millionaire. You're taking advantage of us and putting in systems, all these people that work in Washington. You are pulling the strings behind the curtain and taking advantage of things that you know for your profit. You know, if somebody comes across your desk and says, hey, we're going to start selling this pharmaceutical drug that's probably going to get people addicted and is probably going to ruin thousands of lives, but we're going to make like hundreds of millions, dude. You'd probably say no because you're like, wow, that sounds terrible. Even though I want the money, like, that sounds terrible. Well, I mean, we'd probably say no. It depends on how far they are into their power trip where they're like, oh, you know, we could do that. We could get away with that. You know, a 5-year, 10-year veteran in government would probably be like, yeah, we can get away with that because they're so fucking brainwashed by all the fucking demons. But, you know, a freshman in the government would probably be like, no, dude, we can't do that. That's screwing over our people. And that would be the right thing to think. But sadly, that's not the case. We don't get that result every time, or any of the times. But think about if somebody were to come up to Nancy Pelosi and say, hey, if you vote this way on this bill, not only are we going to give you a few $1 million, but you're also you also have the opportunity to invest in this company right now, and then when it gets accepted, when it gets voted through Congress or the House or whatever, when it gets, well, I guess when it gets pushed through like the FDA and everything, and because you guys support it, you're going to make more money than any of the payouts we could have given you because our company is about to be uber duper rich. And then you turn around and you see that Nancy Pelosi is one of the highest earning, 100x or more her net worth during her time in government. And it's because she's insider trading. And hey, you know, 2 bullets in the back of my head, call it a suicide. Nancy Pelosi's insider trading. And we're paying her to do it. Is that wrong of me to say? Like, is that illegal for me to say? I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I've seen people tweet like, hey, this is what Nancy Pelosi traded. This is how much money Nancy Pelosi has made this year. Or, you know, this is how much Nancy Pelosi has made since she got in office. Those are all interesting things. But has anybody ever came out and said, hey, like, she's breaking the law? Like, called her out on it? Is that wrong of me to do? Is that like a defamation type thing? Should I not post this? I'm gonna. Don't worry. You'll see it. You're obviously seeing it because you're watching it right here. But hopefully that's not too bad of a thing to say because it's true. She is benefiting off of the insider knowledge that she has in our government to make money. At the expense, I would say, over 90% of the time, it's at the expense of American people. Poisoning our bodies, poisoning our brains, ruining our culture. You know, people used to come to America and be like, man, I want to be American. You know, I want to get out there and fucking grill in my yard and have a big-ass American flag hanging off my front porch and go do donuts in my truck. Fucking drink a few beers with all the guys on the street. You know, it doesn't matter who lives on my street. I'm going to be friends with them. I'm going to have cookouts with all my neighbors. That's what people used to come to America for. And, you know, all the opportunity with jobs and, like, you know, obviously we're so bad and racist and misogynistic and we're the patriarchy, but everybody in the world wants to come here. And is that because we're flying them here and paying other countries for their trash? Or is that because they want to come here? And coincidentally, all the ones that want to come here and they're walking all this way are military-age males with backpacks and boots on. It's not looking good. Yeah. So, I just hope you guys can get ready and, be knowledgeable about this. Don't drive yourself crazy with it, but be knowledgeable. Be expecting what's happening right now. Because a lot of shit is going to come to a head in the next 4 years. I mean, millions. I know for a fact over 2.5 million illegal immigrants came through our border, our southern border, during the Biden administration. It's unfathomable. They're shutting down hotels all over the country. The government, our tax dollars, are going to pay for these people's hotels and $2,000 a month apartments and their groceries and their cars and their cell phones and putting cash in their pocket every week. Like, how does that make you feel? Like you're being robbed? 40% of your paycheck is being taken out? I mean, maybe not 40. That's in some cases, but when you really get down to brass tacks and you think about all the tax you're paying, that's really over half of your income, whether received or spent, is going towards taxes. It's going to Big Daddy government so we can give Ukraine and Israel more bombs and more bullets and more weapons and more tanks and all that kind of stuff. And so military-age men from a bunch of different third world countries can come into our country. And they're so great, They're so great that they couldn't build something similar to America in their own fucking country. But they're so great, so let's invite them here. Let's not prosecute them when they're raping white women and bashing their heads in on the sidewalk, dumping them out of their fucking vans. Let's not deport them. Let's hold them overnight and then release them because we legally can't, do anything about the torture happening to our own citizens. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to start that off on such a happy note. I meant to really bum you guys out right at the start of this podcast. If you're still listening, man, thanks to you. Hey, beer of the night, Yingling Flight. See, things are a little tight right now. I haven't been buying as much beer, but one thing is for sure, I'm going to set myself up for the future. And that's exactly what I did. I took a couple Yingling Flights a couple weeks ago, and I put them in the shop fridge because I knew a day like this would come. And I have a couple beers to drink with you guys now. And one thing I want to say, Yingling Flight is the most refreshing, the most American, the most patriotic, amazing light beer that I've ever had. Out of Pennsylvania, they are the oldest American family-owned and operated brewery to this day. And they've been making beers a long time. Still family-owned and operated. It's crazy. And so I'm a fan of the regular Yinglings, like the Yingling lager. And they came out with the lights, and those are all right. Still the Yingling taste, the Yingling lager taste is there, but it's a little lighter, of course. And then you go to the Flight, and it's a new taste, and it's good. it's good. Like, God, it's different than everything else. It's just different. I think, like, and I'm gonna be honest. I've put a lot of people onto this beer. You can't find it everywhere, but there hasn't been one person that I've handed one of these to, and they've said, "No, that's not good." You know, I don't like that. Whoa. What, are we having a tornado right now? Damn power's about to go out, I swear. Thing building, the barn shook. Yeah, so really good beer, really like it. Been a fan for a while, and I would love to work with Yingling Flight and put them on my car, put them on my truck. My car, when I say my car, I mean the race car, the Grand National. We go to different events where there's people spectating and stuff, and pictures get posted of it and everything. So, they wouldn't have to do much, man. They wouldn't have to do much. I would get my whole car wrapped in Yingling Flight livery. Like, oh, they would not have to do a lot for me to do that. I don't ask for much either. I just want some opportunities behind the wheel. And God, man, they could have a lifelong partner. I might have to calm it down with the I might have to calm it down with the political talk, because I understand brands have to maintain an image and everything, and not all brands and people are as vocal as me about my concerns about the trends that this country is experiencing. So, they want to be an inclusive company where everybody can drink their beer. I have no problem with that. I think everybody should be able to enjoy beer, but do it legally. You should be enjoying beers in America legally, and the beers that you're enjoying in America legally shouldn't have poisons or glyphosate in them, and they shouldn't be voted on by people that are lying to you. I just want to make sure this is still charging. It's going to bounce back and forth, charging and not charging multiple times, because that cord sucks, man. That cord sucks. I got to find something else to do with that. Do you guys have that? Do you have one, like, USB-C cord that's, like, I'm talking MacBook cord that's worn out and sometimes works and sometimes doesn't? Because that's probably one of the most annoying fucking things about this computer. Not that it just randomly shuts off and won't cut back on, or, I'll have it at 50% charge, and then the next day I'll open it and it says that the battery's dead, and then I plug it in and it says like 48% charged, and I'm like, then what the fuck were you doing the whole time? But this, I mean, it's just so fucking... Apple cords have a lifespan on them. Like, there's no other cord that I've used. Like, you could charge your views 1,000 times and the cord itself is still going to be good. You could leave it running around in your truck and rolling around your floorboard and it's going to be fine. But Apple cords just fucking blow. Like, and there's nothing I can do. I'll keep playing with this and wasting y'all's time. Welcome to Tech Support Hour. Alright, so we got a charge there. And it's just going to keep bouncing up and down off of that. Look at that. It's just... I'm getting really mad at my computer right now. I literally just said I'm getting mad about my computer right now because it keeps going on and off of charge. And then it ended my recording. Like, nothing was pressed, never touched the screen, the keypad, nothing. And it ended my recording on its own. So I'll have to go in and, edit those together. It's just absolutely nothing is easy. Technology, man. And it's still doing it. This is just the most crazy thing. This is a chaotic episode. My backpack just fell. Something else fell earlier that scared the shit out of me. My backpack just fell for no fucking reason. I don't know if there's a breeze going through here or what. My computer is pulsing on and off of charge. I'm getting so fucking pissed. I'm really shining a light on myself here in a side that, I didn't really want to show. Me getting mad at technology and complaining about it, but that's just the boat I'm in right now. I need to fucking chill out. And it's doing it again. It'll act like there's nothing wrong for 2 minutes and then just go right back to it. I'll ignore it. Okay, I'll do my best to ignore it. Oh god, it's gonna keep making that noise in the background. I don't fucking know. I'm so fucking done with that computer. Man, oh god, I wish you guys could have seen what I just had to endure with this computer. I mean, the first chance I get, when I can afford to replace this laptop, it's a 2020 MacBook Pro. And the funny part about it is, I don't even know if the audio is right now because it's on and off charge, and going on and off charge will kick off the microphone input. And I know, like, you guys could care fucking less, but this is the trouble that I face every single time I open this piece of technology. Like, I'm like, man, I really don't use my computer enough anymore to do work stuff and Kickback and editing and everything. And it's like, because I fucking hate it. Like, this computer is the bane of my existence. Even in class, I would show up to class some days and open. It's so embarrassing too. You've got like you've got a bunch of people behind you, and you sit down, open your laptop, black screen. Press a couple buttons, black screen. Hold down the power button / touch ID, black screen. It's like, guess I'm not able to use my fucking computer. So I've completely forgotten about what we were talking about. Spent about 20 minutes fumbling around with that. And not going to lie, I'm looking forward to the day that I get to smash this computer. And I'm just going to go right over the back of a chair or something, just right in half. Just bam. I mean, because it deserves it. It does. It deserves everything it's got coming to it. So we'll try to relax, try to have a beer here. Let's see, we got a good amount of snow on Friday and Saturday. Bad enough, Summer couldn't go into work. She couldn't drive her car in, so, I took her back down to Knoxville, drove her to work each night. Her hours are like 7 to 7, so bring her in at 6:30, go drink, do whatever, wake up, go pick her up at 7. Normally she leaves at like 7:30. But, like, of course, one day I go and I pick her up, and I pick her up at 8 because I slept a little bit. Like, my phone fell off the bed. I was up before my alarm, and I unlocked it. And I think that tripped up the alarm thing, and my phone fell off the bed, so she was calling me. It was a whole thing. I couldn't hear it. I'm a deep sleeper. It's a whole thing. It's like, why were you late to pick me up? Well, couldn't really help it. A lot of shit happened. I'm not this, I'm not that bad of a guy. Just, it was a poor sequence of events. And that seems to be just how it fucking goes. It's just one poor sequence of events after another until, you either give up or stop caring about it. I think that's becoming old. That's pretty much what becoming old is. if you don't give up, you become old and stop caring about stuff and just do whatever you want. I think that's pretty valuable. But yeah, we got snow. Sadly, I wasn't around my four-wheeler or anything to ride in the snow, but we did ride around in the truck a little bit, sliding around. There's nobody on the roads because nobody, wants to go out, but that's just fun to me. Like, there's no more fun than driving around empty roads, sliding everywhere, doing donuts and stuff. Going through the city, you're at a stoplight, there's people walking around, and you just hang that bitch out there, drift a whole stoplight just to do it. I mean, that's awesome stuff. Let's see. Had some beers with Tommy from Duck. Got a little bit of work done. Came back on Sunday. Jeb and I have been working on the chicken coop. My brother Jeb. We've got the second floor almost complete. We're putting the siding on now. We've framed in the doors. We framed in, set the roof beams in there. And it's coming together pretty quick. I think at the end of January, we'll be looking at our goats, looking to pick those up. So that'll be fun. That'll be an interesting time. Because, goats are an interesting thing where you can get some goats that are really like dogs. They're like so well behaved and so timid and stuff, and then you can get some goats that are everywhere. They're on your roof, they're climbing your fence, they're on top of your shed, they're eating everything. You can stir up a little trouble with goats. So, I'm hoping we kind of hit the lottery here with a couple timid ones. We're getting one pretty young, and she's about to have a kid, so we're going to get the mom and the kid. And hopefully we just get to raise them and, slightly domesticate them where, of course everything gets trained on a farm. They kind of get acclimated to the behaviors and the feeding times and bedtime and all that. But, it'd be cool to have a goat that can hang out with us and the dog and sit by the fire and everything. I feel like it'd be so cool to have a chill-ass goat. It's just like one of the boys. But it's a girl, and we get milk from it, and we make cheese. Doesn't that sound pretty cool? And if if we don't like it, we'll just get rid of the goats and just keep the chickens. We'll have 2 layers of chicken farm. I don't know. But I know one thing. We're going to be getting a shit ton of eggs, more than we already are. And we'll be trying some goat milk and making different things like cheese and I don't know. Do they make goat yogurt or something? I'm sure it's an acclimated taste, an acquired taste, but I can't imagine it's too bad. One thing, hello? One thing I want to check on. Sorry, I just keep thinking the audio is cutting off. I'm so sorry, guys. This has just been a technical difficulty episode. We got on off a hot foot, and I think the government tapped into my hot shoe start, and they said, no fucking way we're letting this guy complete this podcast. There's absolutely no fucking way. And I'm going to check my settings here and make sure that our sound input is turned up. Yeah, we're going to go up in input volume. Sorry if that throws you guys off, but I swear that's going to be better audio for me to, finish up. Because I always have to boost it and edit the quality. But, yeah, I'm excited about getting goats. Let's see. Pretty chill week, really. Oh, we've been acquiring farm equipment, obviously, because we're trying to, start planting stuff and, getting our own food together and everything. So we purchased a tiller last year, and I talked this lady down from $125 to $100 for this tiller that doesn't run anymore, stopped up carb and everything. And, it was worth $75. Could have been worth $50, but she was stubborn, and I was she was asking 125. I brought $100 bill, and I was like, I have 100. You know, take it or leave it. I drove all the way out here. You can get rid of it now. So she took it, and took it back, cleaned the carburetor, put a new spark plug in, changed the oil. Had to take the carb apart from the gas tank and clean the gas tank out. It had a few problems, but we got it to run pretty good. And so we added that to the fleet and ran it a little bit. And then one of our family friends gave Jeb a tiller, a mower, a generator, a chainsaw, because I guess they just don't need it anymore. And we took this tiller, we got it, we get it running and everything. And we've been talking about putting tractor flaps on everything that we have. Like, from the tillers to the mowers and whatever, just taking the exhaust, cutting the muffler off, and going up in the air and putting like a tractor stack on it, like with the flap that bounces up and down. And so I went next door to the farm supply store from our shop, and I looked around, and they had some piping, some 22 gauge pipe for like plumbing, and I was like, man, this is perfect. So I snagged that stuff, took the muffler off of this little tiller that we just got, cut it open, and when you pull the cover off of the muffler, it's got 2 layers of baffling inside that restrict the airflow and make it run quieter. So I cut those out, and then I put the casing back on top. And it's my first time welding in really thin metal. I welded all the way around, and it doesn't look great, but it holds together. And I was dropping it and hitting it and everything, and it holds together. So then I cut out the area where there's these holes poked in it from the factory for the air to come out of the stock unit. And I cut a circle out of that, fit this 90-degree pipe elbow in there, plumbing pipe, welded that 22 gauge on there, then put the extension on it with the flange on top, tacked that on, and like blew holes into the 22 gauge because it's so dang thin. And pretty much I just had to put them next to each other, get a decent tack on there, and then just keep layering on wire. I wasn't necessarily mending the 2 pieces of metal together as much as I was melting my welding wire over it and just creating like a Band-Aid seal. And that could be what welding is. I don't imagine it is, because I feel like there has to be some sort of melting of that local metal together and like mixing it together. But this was just me laying the wire over the seams and holding them together. Man, it sounds so hilariously good. And honestly, I think I'm going to tractor flap everything. I'm going to tractor flap the lawnmower, the push mower. I'm going to tractor flap the other tiller. We've got like a 3-wheel turf machine that does like aerating and mowing and everything. I'm probably going to tractor flap that. I'm just going to go on a complete rampage with tractor flaps and just keep going until somebody stops me. It's pretty much what it's going to be. Moving through the week, not too crazy. Just pretty much in the evenings been working on that chicken coop, and we did that tractor flap one evening at work. But this evening I came home and there's a chicken in the garage, and apparently it might be egg bound. So we've had a few chickens go egg bound before, but this one's acting weird, man. She's stretching out her neck. It's like she'll come in and inhale and then stretch out her neck and like and it's like a gurgling sound. It's like something's caught in her throat. I really don't know, don't know what it could be. Let me make sure I'm recording here. Sorry, I couldn't see it. We're recording. I don't know what it could be. I think it, like, okay, some farmer stuff here. This is the first time I've had to do this. Um, when you think a chicken is egg bound and they start acting like that, you have to take your hand and see if there's an egg in there. Yeah. So, if you're thinking about having chickens and you think, oh, chickens just take care of themselves and we throw them feed and give them water and they give us eggs. Yeah, it's great. But, there's sad times. They die, they get disease, they'll fall over, they'll fall out on you. And they don't really know how to tell you that something's wrong. I mean, this one was just all flocked up and everything, just trying to spread out. And it just can't, it keeps like, it's like it's pushing and pushing, but like, dude, I had her in a warm bath. It was a bucket of water. Warm bucket of water with salt in it. Epsom salt to really just like try to soothe her skin and calm her down. Make her feel a little comfortable. But really it's about loosening all that up. But yeah, I had to go up in there and feel if there was an egg in the vent. That's what they call the part where the egg comes out. And, you're in there and you're like, I don't know which one of these is going to be it because I don't feel an egg down there. I don't know which one of these holes I have to plug. But I don't feel an egg down there and, I don't think there's going to be one around. And I'm not just going to go shoving my fingers inside this thing. I mean, so, you just try to massage their stomach and massage their ass and, try to help coax that egg out of there because if they don't have the egg, they die. I mean, she's in there struggling. And I guess that's where a little bit of my mind is. And it's like, hey, it's a chicken. But at the same time, we've had her for a year. This is our second batch of chickens. They've been laying great eggs. You go in there and they have such funny little personalities and they spread their wings and they dance all around when you're giving them some good snacks and stuff, like throwing a pumpkin in there or whatever. But they're cool. I mean, they're funny little dudes and it just sucks losing them, especially young like that. I mean, this one's only a year old, tops. And it's just, you wish you wish you could do something about it to help them, but nothing seems to work. So, we'll see if I have to give her another, hot soak and another massage. Probably will before I go to bed. And hopefully she's alive when we wake up and, I can run to the store and get some. There's like poultry antibiotics. It's like a thing that you can put in their water and like kind of syringe feed them or spoon feed them. And it's just, kind of take care of any viruses or diseases or upper respiratory disease that she could have if it is in her lungs or her throat. Which it kind of seems like a head cold because I didn't feel the egg down there. Sorry, guys. It's kind of cold. Late. But I didn't feel the egg down there and it baffles me. It pisses you off that you can't figure out what it is and take her out of that pain because she's obviously in pain. It's just part of the thing owning animals, man. I mean, you gotta. I get so connected to them and I care about them so much, and you can't get too attached because in an ideal situation you'd be eating them in a couple of years and cycling new chickens in, but the chickens that I keep around and I keep getting eggs from, we can't eat those. We can't eat them. They'll pass away of natural causes and it'll be fine. But you can't eat the ones that you've connected with. One day I probably will. One day I'll get used to it enough to where I'll probably butcher them myself and save some money. But until then, probably take it easy on that. But before we break here, I don't want it to be too short of an episode, but I really haven't had much going on this week. Um, but I've got plenty to talk about if we go into our next segment, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But let's take a little smack. God damn it! This is gonna happen again. It's gonna. Hey. Okay, we're good. It's gonna kick off the mic if it keeps bouncing off the charger like that, so I have to bend it around. I gotta get a new cord. Something has to. Damn. Beer's coming back. Something has to change. This has got to get easier. I enjoy doing this when it goes right, especially when I have people on here. It's obviously when it's more fun because I feel more comfortable and acting like I'm, if it's a conversation, I feel like it's a little bit more engaging. But if it's just me talking, I feel an obligation to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. And so that's kind of been my week. Getting over a sickness. Really knocked me on my ass for a good week. You guys heard me in summer in here sniffling, coughing a little bit. And then now, it's like everybody's got it. People had it before me, and I was like, I'm not going to get that. Lo and behold, you get it. And then you turn around, and everybody you know's got it. It's like, I wasn't even around you, so you didn't get it from me. That's crazy that, all these people are getting sick. But, that's what the fog will do. I don't know if you guys heard about that fog going around, but it was like on my feed. It was all over my feed, people talking about fog making everybody sick. It's carrying the virus or something. So, I came up with a little segment called Let's See What's in Jeff's Feed. And how we're going to play this is I have 6% of battery left. Trev wants to play Rocket. But I had technical difficulties and I couldn't play the fucking Rocket League tournament at 10 o'clock that we normally do. We have a lot of fun. Telling them that I'm on the podcast. So, damn. Let's go through Jeff's feed. And right now I can see it's just a video, and I'm going to screenshot this and I'll throw it up. Oh, wow. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. So, and I'm going to throw the video up here. Oh my god. So he grabs the wheel. And he's like, oh shit, look at that. And then he grabs it again. What are you trying to do? And then guy just stops the car in the middle of the highway. What, did he get scared? Did he get stage fright? Did he get car sick? What? Man grabs Ontario Uber driver's steering wheel, seemingly trying to commit insurance fraud. So maybe everybody in there was in on it? Maybe. I'll download that. Why did Eisenhower warn about the military-industrial complex? Well, push politicians into fighting more than the more wars. That's, we We could go over that for hours. Breaking news: Biden takes credit for the Gaza hostage and ceasefire deal, but Arab officials claim Trump Innovi swayed Netanyahu more in one meeting than Biden did all year. Wow. Are we getting this right? Biden wants to take credit for the Israel-Hamas hostage agreement, but not for property taxes increasing by 26% in the last 4 years. Wow. Mortgage rates doubling. Wow. The U.S. dollar losing 25% of its purchasing power since 2020. Oh, wow. It's like the Owen Wilson segment. Oh, wow. Oh my God, you guys need to watch that compilation of Owen Wilson saying wow. You can leave this video and go watch that. Like, just come back. But like, if you wouldn't watch that for the context, that would be funny. Inflation peaking at 9.1%, $150 billion a year of taxpayer funds spent on 10.2 million illegal migrants. Wow, so I was way off with... Oh, no, did I say in the last 4 years or the last 1 year? I said at least 2.5 million, so I wasn't wrong. Price is right. I was lower. Wow. 10.2 million illegal immigrants in the last 4 years. So, take that as you will. The truth is, Trump has done more as president-elect than Biden has done as president in 4 years. Trump's win has already led to peace negotiations in Ukraine, Israel-Hamas hostage agreement, Bitcoin surpassed 100K. What does that have to do with this? The S&P 500 reached new highs. Well, it reaches new highs. It was reaching new highs during Biden's administration. That's just kind of how the stock market works. It's just it's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. Like, what the fuck? It has never been clear the last 4 years have been 4 years of severe drought, and Trump is going to fix it. Okay. Wow. Just like the Bible story of Pharaoh's dream in ancient Egypt, you must take advantage of the next 4 years to provide well for your family. The U.S. home... Wow. Dude. And I keep saying wow. This is what my feed makes me do. My algorithm is just so wild. And I thought this would be funny and something interesting to put on here. Because, like I said, boring week for me. I've just been working. I wanted to show you guys. My feed just goes crazy. And we just talked about having to take advantage of the lucrative opportunities that we'll have presented to us in the next 4 years, because the boys are going to win. We're going to find wins. We're going to find wins one way or another, and it's going to get easier. Even though nothing is easy, it's going to get easier. We are going to find some wins. And this, other people are saying it too. You must take advantage of the next 4 years to provide well for your family. The U.S. home services industry is growing at a staggering 36.21% per year, and the average American spends $16,000 a year on home services. After Trump takes office, tax cuts will follow, and people will have even more money to buy home services. But you don't have to start your own home service business or learn trade to take advantage of this. Here's your blueprint. It's wanting you to say, digital realty or whatever, but pretty much what we were saying. There's going to be ways for employees, there's going to be ways for employers, there's going to be ways for homeowners and all people to take advantage of all these tax benefits and restructuring of our economy. And I think before I started having technical issues, that's what we were going to lead into, is the restructuring of how our economy works, and people thinking like this, Dems just spewing bullshit into people's ear all the time and saying, this is how it is. This is what your reality is. This is how money works. This is the history of the human race. This is how everything is. Just because we're telling you. this is how it is. You better believe us, or you're an extremist, or you're a conspiracy theorist. Like, you don't think there's a vested interest in you believing what they want you to? In you believing that George Floyd wasn't on enough fentanyl to kill 2 people my size? That he wasn't using counterfeit money? That, he didn't have a porn career or, multiple felonies already? Like, and he was resisting arrest. You can watch the footage. He was resisting. Any other? I mean, God, that has to be such a scary situation. But not to go off a tangent there. People's reality is so fucking twisted by these talking heads on television. Like, there's legitimately people out there thinking that Biden can even think a full sentence on his own. Like, if he's dead nut sober, no Adderall, no Xannies or whatever, if he's dead nut sober, he probably can't comprehend, probably can't make a full sentence. Guy can barely walk. It's getting bad. And I don't think the guy that's on TV is even him. But there's people that fully believe in him. There's people that fully believe in Kamala Harris being a good leader of the United States of America. Can you believe that we are existing in the same reality as these people who are so brainwashed and lost on what's real that they would rather have a humanized facade, a walking and talking lie in your face, somebody who was appointed by the big government system, the big government agenda, put in each of her positions, and might not have been their first choice for the presidential election, but there's a good chance that, they wanted that move. They've been trying to get a woman in there. They tried with Hillary, they tried with Kamala, and both times it's been Trump that's stomped them out. That's funny. That's how it goes. That's interesting. But, there's people that think that she's like a real person, that she's would be a good representative for this country and a good leader. And their campaign is millions of dollars in the hole because they couldn't generate donors. They could, but they're still millions of dollars in the hole. Even CNN and the liberal guys were talking about how bad off her campaign was, and how much in debt they were. But, when you've got this many people walking around with this idea that, if we want to rid people of poverty and improve people's quality of life, that they should just make employers start paying people more and not think, and the regular people like you and I who are busting our ass and kind of understand a little bit, have an idea of how this money cycle goes. If you were to tell McDonald's to start paying their employees $17 an hour, $20 an hour, that McDonald's has to increase their margins on the products they sell the same percent as they increase the labor that they're paying for, as they increase the labor wages that they're paying for. And what that means is that if it costs more for businesses to pay people to work, then it's gonna cost more for the final product to come out, and it's gonna cost more for people to buy that final product and make other products. It's gonna drive those costs up. It's a chain reaction where it all leads around to your landlord or the people that own your house that you're trying to buy, or like your dream home. Mostly your landlord and the cost of utilities and the cost of materials and the money invested in said investment properties and stuff. You want to complain about rent pricing and everything like that? Maybe stop charging your landlord $12 fucking dollars every time he goes to a fast food joint. Maybe you should accept that flipping burgers is a $5 an hour job. Maybe if we went through a big reset where we were like, hey, if we're going to work hourly wages, part-time work, that's going to be for, it's either going to be an adult's second job, or if you're 24 and under, let's say college age or under, you can have part-time work like hourly stuff, like flipping burgers and stocking shelves and stuff like that, which then we would have to turn our attention to better educating people, qualifying them for higher positions than just hourly wage positions, and we could all benefit from that. But you got to understand, when you start demanding somebody flipping a burger be paid $20 an hour, when realistically that job is worth maybe $5 an hour. Like, if there was a breakdown of, okay, what your job is worth is determined by if somebody can walk off the street and do your job. So I couldn't walk off the street and do a bank teller's job. That's pretty normal. There's a lot of banks. There's a lot of bank tellers. Hourly wages. Really, I don't think it's commonly. I don't think that's commonly salaried. Most likely hourly wages. And so you're a bank teller. I couldn't walk in off the street and handle the machines that you handle and know where everything goes and know how to fill out all the paperwork and do all that. I couldn't do that. I don't have the training. But if you want me to walk into a McDonald's and you want me to make some burgers, do not tell me anything. I will figure it out, because I've seen back there. It's labeled. Everything is labeled. Everything's right in front of you. You know how to make sandwiches, because if you don't know how to make sandwiches, you'd probably be dead by now. Because at some point you got to make your own food. So obviously I start cooking burgers, and everything I need, I look around, or I ask my coworkers, hey, where's this? And then I go get it. Or I look in the bins and I'm like, pickles, onions, ketchup here, buns here. Everything's labeled. So that would be a lower paying job than the bank teller, because I can't walk in off the street into a bank and say, let me start bank telling. And they go, okay. But I can walk in off the street and say, let me start flipping burgers at McDonald's. You guys are short-staffed. Let me get in here and flip some burgers. Sign the paperwork. Get back there. I don't need any training, bro. I'm a clean guy. I'm not spitting on people's food. I'll put the hairnets on and everything. I know how to make a burger. If I drop it, I'm throwing it away. I'm not some scum bucket. I'm not some fucking ashtray. Goddamn ashtray. So that's a job that most people can do walking in off the street, and I think that belongs at the lower end of the pay scale. And I saw something about California making, fast food chains and minimum wage, something about that needs to be minimum of like $17 or $20, and it's like, God, you wonder why everything is so expensive and there's so many homeless. is because nobody can afford to live in a place where everybody is paid out the ass. There has to be some kind of competition, and that has to there has to be there because it drives everything. It drives improvement. It drives the need for more competition. I want to be paid more. I want to be better than what I am right now. I want to be in a better position, so I want to work hard. When I'm young, I'll have this job that's paying bills, getting me through. Okay, and you might say, how are you going to pay bills on $5 an hour? Look, this is the ball. This is the hypothetical ball we've been rolling for the past, since 1913. Here we go again. 2 bullets in the back of my head, call it a suicide. But this is the hypothetical ball we've been rolling since 1913, is that, they call it the government. Every new administration is just going to kick the can further down the road. And yeah, that's what's been happening. The longer we wait on this, the bigger the depression, the more lives are lost, the more anarchy ensues until we can get it under control. The government will try to control it. I don't think that's the solution. It needs to be an understanding among all the people that, hey, this is going to be tough to bounce back from, but this could be how we do it. We create a realistic and use democracy to create a realistic pay structure. And say, hey, these fast food chains, they shouldn't be required to pay you guys in the teens to be flipping burgers and handing people their orders. Call me a bad guy, but that's kind of just, that's the logic of it. I know, and you might be sitting there working at one of these places like, fuck you, you don't know what we go through, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I have a pretty good idea of it, Be realistic. It's not hard. You don't need that much training to go into Wendy's and, put fries in a piece of cardboard. Or type in on your picture screen what the order is. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be a struggle, but it's an idea that if we take away these regulations and these minimum, not take away minimum wage, but basically say, it's up to the employer. And if you don't want to get paid what they're paying, don't work there. But let people pay what the work is worth. And when people were getting paid $2 an hour for working at McDonald's, and they were getting paid $15 an hour for working in an office downtown, that's kind of just how it goes. Because you need education for that kind of stuff. But you don't need to go to high school to work at McDonald's. And that's just the reality of it. Fucking say whatever you want, man. That is the reality of all of this. People are living in a pretend land where every job is valuable as the next. No, it's not. The guy that fixes your car and changes your tires out should be getting paid more than the person that's making your burgers and making your milkshake. That's just the reality of it. That's the logical way it should be. And if you don't agree, drop a comment, send me a DM. You know where to find us. Kickback.show or kb.locks. I love that page. KB Locks is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on there with the boys. Thanks for hanging out. Went a little long because I got frustrated with the audio, but here I am going off on a tangent. Hey, let's check Jeff's feed. That was a good segment right there. That started a whole new thing about the economy and everything. We went through maybe 3 posts. But, we'll try to do that more often. We'll try to go further next time. Like, I could open it right now. And to show you guys how crazy this is, uh, this is a guy doing a major flop, it looked like, in front of all these cops in our capital. Timu ad for a giant shed, a giant shop. Florida Congresswoman Anna Luna reintroduces bill to execute pedophiles. This better get. I'm not going to say that. Oh, this guy says, DC Drano says, this better get unanimous support from the GOP. So Anna Luna in Florida calls to execute all pedophiles. You know, there's layers to that. I mean, you know, there's unfortunate circumstances and unfortunate misunderstandings. There's shit that goes on that is unfortunate. Same with people on death row that were incorrectly accused or incorrectly sentenced. That shit sucks. You know, going straight to execution, I don't think that's ever really the answer. But, you know, I understand people have strong feelings about those people, you know. That's just me playing devil's advocate. Steel frame buildings have existed for over 100 years. Only 3 have collapsed due to fire. All 3 were leased by the same man, and all 3 collapsed on the same day. Wow. And on that, we'll call it. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope I get to see you next week. I hope I'm still around. I hope I can sit in this chair and still be able to talk to y'all. Thanks for sticking around through the technical difficulties. I know it's nothing to you guys because I'll edit it out, but, you know, my brain was all over the place while that was going on. Love you guys. Can't wait to talk to you next week. We might have a guest on. He might know Max. Might be some good stories there. We'll find out. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Be safe. See you next week.